Making use of time management skills is a necessity when working on large-scale projects, but acquiring these skills takes time and practice. Managing your time when creating 3D visualization projects is imperative to completing a well-developed capstone project. When starting a project, it is important to keep in mind that it is a multi-step process that involves the following:
planning, modeling and texturing, creating a camera and the camera path, lighting, rendering, and creating the final details. The key to creating a successful capstone project is planning. Creating a plan is the first thing you should do before working on any other aspect of the capstone project. Creating a timeline is a good idea because it allows you to keep track of the due dates. But before creating the timeline, it is important to meet with the client and stakeholders in order to discuss the goals of the project, deliverables, and time allotted. Once this has been established, it is necessary to move on to the next step. Modeling and texturing in Autodesk Maya is a simple yet time-consuming task. If you did not have much experience with modeling and texturing, it would take you months to finish the modeling and texturing of realistic environments. On the other hand, if you were an experienced user, it would take you weeks if you were dedicated. It is important to determine the amount of modeling needed to complete the project, and then to create a timeline based off of that. Creating a camera is an important part of your project, as you will use this camera as the perspective that viewers will use to view all that you have worked on in your project. Modifying the view angle of your camera is of key importance because by doing so, you will be able to display as little or as much of what you have or have not modeled. Camera paths are also important to the success of your project because they are what will keep your audience interested and engaged in what you present in your visualization. Lights are what will make your capstone project visually persuasive. Choosing the correct type of lighting for your visual representation is what could make your scenes much more believable. Rendering is perhaps the least complicated aspect of your project, yet it is the most time-consuming. If you are rendering your animation in high definition, or if your animation is longer than 20 minutes, you will probably take weeks and tens of computers to output your final piece. If you are a CSUMB student, you have the access to the computers in room 210, building 18. You might want to use about 15 computers to render. It is necessary to finish your final animation project 2 to 3 weeks prior to the final deadline. That way, you will have enough time to render and put your renders together. Planning for any final details such as capstone presentation and delivering the final project should also be taken into account. Showing up for the capstone presentation or delivering the final project might not seem very time-consuming, but it is important to keep in mind that every aspect of your capstone project needs time and dedication.